Welcome to the Botego Properties Podcast. This is the Myrtle Beach Real Estate Brief for the week of 14 November 2023. I'm Michael Botego, real estate agent for the Myrtle Beach area. The Federal Reserve Board press release. Agencies announced dollar thresholds for applicability of truth in lending and consumer leasing rules for consumer credit and lease transactions. This is from the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which was released yesterday on the 13th of November. The Federal Reserve Board and Consumer Financial Protection Bureau today announced the dollar thresholds used to determine whether certain consumer credit and lease transactions in 2024 are subject to certain Regulation Z, Truth in Lending, and Regulation M, Consumer Leasing requirements. By law, the agencies are required to adjust the thresholds annually based on the annual percentage increase in the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, known as the CPI-W. Transactions at or below the thresholds are subject to the protections of the regulations. Specifically, based on the annual percentage increase in the CPI-W as of June 1st, 2023, Regulation Z, Truth in Lending, and Regulation M, Consumer Lending, generally will apply to consumer credit transactions and consumer leases of $69,500 or less in 2024. However, private education loans and loans secured by real property, such as mortgages, are subject to Regulation Z, Truth in Lending, regardless of the amount of the loan. Last Thursday's primary mortgage market survey from Freddie Mac, covering the 30 and 15-year fixed-rate mortgages, the interest rates took a slight decline from the week previous, whereas for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage, the average rate is 7.5%, and for a 15-year fixed-rate mortgage is 6.81%. Data collected by Apartments.com covering rents for the Myrtle Beach area. The rent average for Myrtle Beach is a studio efficiency is currently at $1,112. A one-bedroom apartment is $1,334. A two-bedroom apartment is $1,546. And a three-bedroom is $1,875. From AirDNA, the collector and research of information for short-term vacation rentals. The short-term rental data for the Myrtle Beach area is a daily rate of $250.40. The average annual revenue is $56,400. An occupancy rate stands at 62%, and the total available listings in the Myrtle Beach area stands at 13,562. National and local unemployment data for Myrtle Beach in South Carolina is currently, the national unemployment rate is at 3.9% for the month of October. The unemployment rate for South Carolina for the month of September is 2.9%, and the preliminary unemployment rate for the Myrtle Beach area is 3.1%. From the South Carolina Department of Revenue, their latest press release dated November 7, 2023. Applying for a property tax exemption, we have tips to help. The South Carolina offers a property tax exemptions to those who meet certain requirements, including many military veterans, disabled former firefighters, and disabled former law enforcement officers. It's fast and easy to submit your property tax exemption application on My Doorway, the SCDOR's free online tax portal. After you apply for a property tax exemption, check your status using our property exemption status check tool. This week's schedule for Horry County government. Tuesday, November 14th, there is a Parks and Open Space Board meeting at 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Scheduled at 6 p.m. is the County Council meeting at the Government and Justice Center. For the 15th of November, Wednesday, is a Stormwater Advisory Board scheduled at 3 p.m. Scheduled for Friday, the 17th of November, 2023, is the Committee on Mental Health meeting. that is scheduled for 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. in the multi-purpose room at 1301 2nd Avenue, Conway. The City of Myrtle Beach meeting schedules and agenda for this week, beginning today, Tuesday, November 14th. At 2 p.m., the remaining meeting of the day is the Workforce Housing Advisory Board in the first floor conference room. For Wednesday, November 15th, beginning at 8:30 a.m. is the property maintenance hearing in the conference room, City Services Building. 2 p.m. is the Beach Advisory Committee in the first floor conference room. At 2 p.m. is Through the Lens of Time, Myrtle Beach History Series, Jasper and Ramsey Jr. at the Chapin Memorial Library. At the General Robert H. Reed Recreation Center, 800 Gabreski Lane, 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, November 15th, will be the Neighborhood Watch meetings. Those meetings are for the following Neighborhood Watch groups: Emmons Preserve, the Highlands, the Market Common, Meridian at the Market Common, the Reserve, Seagate Village, Sweetgrass North, Westlake, and Withers Preserve. Meeting scheduled for Thursday, November 16th, beginning at 1:30 p.m. is the Community Appearance Board, Conference Room, City Services Building at 921 North Oak Street. Neighborhood Watch meetings at the Port Side at Grand Dunes, 901 Portside Drive, will be for the following Neighborhood Watch groups: Grand Dunes and Northwood Neighborhood Watch. At 2 p.m. is the Military Appreciation Committee in the first floor conference room. At 4:30 p.m. is the Human Rights Commission meeting. And at 6 to 8 p.m. is Free Nights at Nance Free Concert, Chocolate Chip and Company Band, Nance Plaza, 825 North Kings Highway. There are no further meetings or events scheduled for the remainder of the week. Press release from United States Senator Tim Scott, dated Thursday, November 9th, 2023. Scott Haggerty expand oversight of senior diplomats, rescinded security clearances following the Iran envoy scandal. Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, joined Senators Bill Haggerty, Ted Cruz, John Barrasso, and Marco Rubio in introducing the State Department Security Notification Act, which requires the Secretary of State to notify Congress when the security clearances of senior members of the State Department are suspended or revoked. United States Senator Lindsey Graham issued a press release dated November 9, 2023. Graham presses Secretary Mayorkas on Biden administration's failed border policies. Senator Lindsey Graham on November 9th questioned Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas about the record-breaking levels of migration the United States is experiencing at our southern border. Earlier last week, Graham and other Republican senators announced legislation to address the abuse of the asylum system and slow the flow of migrants traveling to the United States. Graham has also said that funding for Ukraine and Israel should be tied to policy changes to deal with the problems the Biden administration has created at our southern border. From the governor of South Carolina, Governor Henry McMaster, press release from November 9th. Nissin Foods expands United States footprint by establishing operations in Greenville County. Nissin Foods is a global leader in producing premium instant ramen products. Today announced plans to expand its United States footprint by establishing operations in Greenville County. The $228 million investment will create over 300 new jobs. And that concludes the Botego Properties podcast for the Myrtle Beach Real Estate Brief for the week of 14 November 2023. If you like the information you are receiving, please like and subscribe and recommend this channel to others. Thank you and have a great week.